give a nice warm round of loving applause for our very own Reverend Sharon.
Well, it always feels good to get a round of applause. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Don't you love this? Love is in the air. Yes. Did any of you see the movie Love Actually?
Yes.
The song is from that movie, and as part of the movie is they go to the airport. Now think of the times you've been to the airport. That is where you see love happening, right? Everyone is so happy to see whoever the family member or friend is that's getting off the plane. They're kissing and hugging as whoever's leaving town is leaving. It's just, love is in the air there. So is love in the air here?
Yes.
He's hoping so. Well, I wanted to share with you our teddy bear project. Thank you all for bringing the teddy bears. Oh my gosh. So we're sending them to the Del Mar track. The holiday project is going on today. And I got an email from Sharon, is her name, who's kind of the project manager. And he said, we need 1,000 more bears or stuffed animals. So the police department isn't taking them anymore. I'm not even going to go into why, but there's a good reason. So we're looking for a place, where are we going to take our bears? And I got that email, and so thank you to Sunshine, Dennis, and Jim who are making it happen there, that our bears go to those families and the kids at the Holiday Basket Project, and also to foster kids. I'm going to send the ones today to a foster care project that will give them to the kids. So thank you all. It makes a huge difference. It's making a huge difference in so many kids' lives to get the beers we've been hugging and loving. Guess where this is from? Recognize anybody?
No.
Too bad the kids aren't here, right? See, they're themselves. So this is us having fun together and doing good together. It was a fundraising project that we did, and so many gave gifts and paid for gifts, and it was just a wonderful love fest for all of us. So this is the upstairs of the Del Mar track where a few of us were there this past week and organizing things to go in the baskets. But can you imagine all of the generous donors who gave those bikes to give to kids? Yeah, it's so touching. And so I thought I would see if any of the folks who participated in that program, who went down to the track with us, would like to say what was their takeaway from that experience. What was the best thing about it?
It was very rewarding to work with members of the church as a team again, and also to know that what we were doing was going to really loving, needy people.
Thank you, Jim. And here's a dynamic duo right here.
It was a wonderful experience. They are so organized, and they appreciate so much the donations and the help. And it was great to work with people from the church as a team. Thank you.
Mr. Graff?
Oh, come on.
Linda said it all.
Linda said it all.
That's what I like.
Well, my favorite part was counting thousands of packets of socks. Linda, Mike, Doreen, and Eric, and Carol, and Sharon, and Doreen's friends. I hope I remembered everybody. But we had fun. They had, I would say, a couple thousand packets.
More than that.
3 packs.
More than that.
Of new socks.
do. And it's amazing what these generous manufacturers or stores give, and our team made a big difference. We worked in synchronicity, didn't we? We knocked out those billions of socks before we, in fact, they let us go a little early because we were so productive. Yeah, and Doreen brought a couple, and she's with the kids right now, so she can't comment. I thought you ought to see. Yeah, this is, not all of you know her, but I wanted to share her happiness. This is Lois Williams, who's a longtime member of our congregation and isn't able to get here anymore. And, you know, she's dealing with something very difficult health-wise. But when you look at her smile, she's happy. And, oh, sorry. Let me see if I can do this. No.
That's Bill in a Christmas suit?
This is what entertains her. Yeah, so we went through a few rounds of watching Santa Claus taking selfies. And she's the happiest person, you know, there's so much love in her heart, and so I wanted all of us to share in that joy and love that she is feeling. And I thought, well, what if, you know how Christmas is, right? We're all, most of the time, loving and thinking, how can we give? What can we get for someone? What can we give? Feeling a lot of joy with all the lights and decorations. What would it be like if everyone in the world could maintain and feel at once all of the love and joy that we've experienced during the Christmas season? I mean, there would be peace on earth, wouldn't there?
Yes.
But just one person makes a difference. Just one person giving love, sharing love, saying kind things, being generous makes a difference. So all of us put together are making a difference, because the good that we think and the good that we feel and the good that we do is non-local. It doesn't stay in here or there to the person I'm giving to. It's incredibly powerful energy that goes out like ripples, like a wave in the ocean. So it makes a difference. We started this series quite a while back, didn't we? The great work of your life. And one of the foundational statements in the book from the Gospel of Thomas is this. Read it with me. If you bring forth what is within you, it will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, it will destroy you. What do you think that means? What does it mean to you? You don't have to tell me now, but just think about it. I was reminded of the great philosopher Woody Allen, who quoted Socrates when he said, "The unexamined life is not worth living, but the examined life ain't that great either." So if you and I don't take the time and make the effort to see what's in here, it gets in our way. It can get in our way, right? An unresolved resentment saps our energy. Anger, while it's a lot of energy, can get in the way of seeing all the love and goodness there. Fear blocks us from being as loving as we could be. So if we bring forth what is within us and look at it maybe, and then release it, because there's so much more to us than all that, isn't there? There's so much more. There's so much good. There's infinite love. I mean, there's no end to the love we can feel and express. There's no end. Have you ever found an end to it? No. There's no end to the joy that we can experience and share. Because it's God in us, ever seeking fuller expression, which is what the 12 powers are about. Let's say this one together. I am willing to express the love that is within me today and every day. Woo! Okay, so our theme for the year has been bolder together, powered by faith, and whole by a vision. Powered by today, the third Sunday of Advent, I'd like to think of us being powered by love today. And pulled by a vision, that vision of what would it be like if we were all loving just for one day? 24 hours, everybody everywhere loving for just one day. Yeah. Third Sunday in Advent, the theme is love. This is our book. If you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend it. It's so accessible about what matters. There are 4 pillars, powerful pillars, and so today we're talking about Christmas treasures that Spirit celebrates, and the power or the pillar that we're at today has to do with service, selfless service, and letting go of the smaller self for the larger self. The Christ presence. So creating a life that reflects your values and satisfies your soul is a rare achievement. I don't know if it's so rare. What do you think? Are you achieving it?
Yes.
Aren't we?
Yes.
Okay, here's another affirmation. Come on. My love in action gives me unfailing hope, new life, big peace, and a heart full of joy. It's Christmas in my soul. Point to someone next to you or behind you and say, this means you.
This means you.
This means you. Now point to your heart and say, it means me.
It means me.
It does, doesn't it? So the scripture I wanted to have us look at this morning is the story of the wise men. Although, you know, this whole Christmas story is about the power of love. And we start with the wise men in the East who were considered alchemists of their day. They were the consultants for how to live an abundant life. And they would transform. They were alchemists. They could transform an attitude into a new attitude. So here's the wise men. Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, where is he who was born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him. And when Herod heard this, he was troubled, and all of Jerusalem with him. And assembling the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them, where is this Christ to be born? And they told him, in Bethlehem of Judea. Herod summoned the wise men and asked them to tell him when they had found the child where he could be found. But when the wise men heard this, they went their way, and lo, the star which they had seen in the east before them came to rest over the place where the child lay. And when they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they fell down and worshipped him. And then opening their treasures, they offered him gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Now, this is a story of our own soul's unfoldment, right? Which says that there are wise men in each of us. And Matthew, it's in Matthew chapter 2, Matthew represents our surrendered will. So we might today, as you go about your day, just notice, am I really surrendering my will in this moment and asking for God's will? Especially when a question comes up. The star in the east represents divine guidance. So the star has always been, like angels, divine guidance. And the east represents our internal being. And so you know where we find divine guidance, right? We recognize it in here. There may be a clue out here somewhere, but we recognize it in here, the east. Bethlehem of Judea. Bethlehem represents a prosperity consciousness, and which we all pretty much get into at Christmas time, don't we? Yeah, how can I give? What should I get for so-and-so? So it's a prosperity consciousness, and Judea represents a mind of gratitude. Gratitude. So to continue to count our blessings opens the way for the birth of the Christ anew in each of us. Herod represents our self-will. And you know, our self-will can get worried about stuff, or get a little tender, a little fragile, a little sensitive. Am I the only one? But the more we're awakened spiritually, the more we notice when it's our own will in here. And so the Christmas story is about the wise person, the wise parts of us, seeing right through Herod, recognizing the Herod in us when it comes up, which is fear. So that's the message of the story, you know, that all the guidance we need is right in here. There's a wisdom in here that is right. And the affirmation I love so much about it is, I know what to do and I do it. When we don't know. When we don't know, I know what to do and I do it because the wisdom in me is guiding me. I'll see it. So in our book, the author tells the story of Gandhi. Yeah, any of you know his story? It's a very interesting story about the triumph of spirit and the triumph of a surrendered will. So Gandhi was a skinny little kid and didn't do well in school, and his parents didn't know what to do with him. And the long and short of it is he was taunted as a kid. He was considered a weakling. One of his uncles said, you know, you ought to study to be a lawyer, an attorney, which he did. And then he went to South Africa. But en route, he got thrown off a train because of the color of his skin. And that was an aha moment for him, where he said, this cannot go on. And the star in the east, in here, revealed to him that his dharma, his call, beyond himself and protecting himself, was to protect all of his people. So as the story unfolds, he changed his whole attitude and outlook on life. And whereas he was married to a woman, betrothed to her at age 14, imagine that. Anyway, he had that arrogance about what he deserved. And when he had the spiritual awakening, it was not what my wife ought to be doing for me, but what can I do for her? Can I do for her? And then he went on to do for his country. So like the story of the wise men, Gandhi had surrendered his will to a greater will and a greater vision. And it all had to do with how can I serve a cause better than myself or greater than myself. Jack does music for us on Sundays. Our volunteers get the room ready. A bunch of us went to the Del Mar track. A cause greater than, what we think we need to do for us. It's what can I get outside of myself and do for others? Any kind act like that makes a difference. We have our volunteers at the front door. We have our platform. You all know what selfless service is. But you might consider, as we all go into 2019, what would that look like if it were amped up just 1 degree? What would it look like? What would I be doing if it were amped up just 1 little degree? I love what French Rogers says. It's so apropos for the treasures that Spirit celebrates. The treasures that we talk about during the Christmas season are the treasures of hope. Without hope, we are totally stuck in our lives, aren't we? We have to hope for something. Without hope, it's a state of clinical depression. So one of the treasures is hope, and we've got to keep feeding it with our faith. The second treasure during this Christmas holiday that we celebrate is the treasure of peace. And Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, said, "It is a mind of peace that precedes all healing." Without a mind of peace, we can't see the next right step to take. The power that we celebrate today is the power of love, the great healer, the great creative energy. What we love, we become. What we love, we become. What we love, we have a passion for, and we're energized to do it. So it's important to know what we love, as well as who we love. And finally, next Sunday, the fourth Sunday in Advent, we'll celebrate the treasure of joy, which is the outcome of a peaceful, loving, hopeful heart. Joy. Joy is a treasure that's within us. It never goes away because it's part of the Christ presence. Jesus said, "I came that you may have joy, and that all I'm teaching you may fill you with joy," the fullness of joy. Fred Rogers, don't you love this? It's our insights that make us who we are, that allow us to dream and wonder and feel for others. That's what's essential. That's what always makes the biggest difference in our world. It's our insights, the treasures on our insights. Guess what?
You got a wrap.
Anyone new here for the first time? Oh, great! Well, the great work of your life is to let go of strife and all that is rife with doubt. It'll always show up to fill your cup with I can'ts, but don't do that dance. It'll keep you in a trance, and that goes nowhere. You've got to see that it's all in how you be, loving or not. Take your pick. There are treasures inside that will be your guide and stem the tide of fear, if you let them. They are the Christ in you seeking to come through in all you say and do, and it'll bless you too as you bless others. There will always be a call to action that will get you out of traction and moving in the direction of the great work of your life, moving and grooving in the great work of your life. And that is what Spirit celebrates. God bless.